Good morning, everyone. Hello out there. Thank you for tuning in to College Coaching Network this morning. Of course, my name is Mika, and today I have a very special guest. In case you missed it, we are actually getting ready to prepare for an amazing college scholarship fair. And with me today, I have Dr. Laura Dorsey with Infinite Scholars. We are partnering with Infinite Scholars in order to bring this free, again, I said free college scholarship fair to you. And it may sound different with hearing, you're so used to hearing college fair, right? But this is a college scholarship fair. A lot of the colleges that will be at this fair are coming with the intent of giving away actual scholarships. And so Dr. Dorsey has been so gracious to do a free 6-week boot camp leading up to that college scholarship fair to prepare students to take full advantage of this opportunity. So, good morning, Dr. Dorsey. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mika. I am wonderful. From the home of Infinite Scholars here, well, the East Coast home of Infinite Scholars. We're so glad to have you. We're so glad to be partnering with you on this initiative. I'm just more than excited. I'm excited about this opportunity. So thank you for having us.
Good. I'm definitely excited about working with you. So, just want to be able to tell our audience a little bit about you. So, what has been your career path that led you to working with Infinite Scholars?
Mika, I my career path has been the fact that I'm an educator. I'm a college professor teaching English, writing at the university level. I have been doing that for 20 years. One of the things is that I saw as a college professor, my specialty is that introductory course is called Orientation Strategies for Success. That's been my specialty. That's been my go-to class. What I saw though, as I was teaching classes, that a lot of students were coming to school and they were really unprepared to be in college and they were unprepared to be successful in college. And we know statistically, a large number of students drop out after their first year because they're not prepared for it. And so my spirit led me. I'm religiously led or whatever. I just really thought that I heard the voice that said, you need to get from behind the desk and behind your
Mhm.
classroom and go out into the community and figure out what it is that you can do to help them better prepare so that instructors like yourself don't have this, don't find this thing like, what can you do to help? Yeah. I was in Orlando working with the Urban League on a community project. I was introduced to Infinite Scholars in 2008. Absolutely fell in love. I was like, this is my venue to helping students get better prepared for college, to helping students know that they can go to college, helping students who wanted to go to college. And I thought that if students saw somebody that looked like me, that yeah, that would make a difference, and heard my story.
That's
How I went to college, heard my story, that would make a difference. Um, I did that one fair in Orlando in 2008. I grew Florida. I have a master's in organizational management. So, organizational management, putting things together. My doctorate is in education, higher education, college education. How do I mirror those two together? And so, Infinite Scholars allowed me to grow the program from one fair in Orlando to we have 5 fairs in the state of Florida. The CEO says, hey, we're having problems in Detroit. You're from Detroit. Go fix Detroit. And so we went and fixed Detroit. And Atlanta was having problems. Like, okay, hey, you're right down there. Go help fix Atlanta. And so now I'm the vice president of mission and engagement. And as we grow the program, I've been allowed to be able to do that and be able to do so. My thing is just helping communities, helping students realize that they can go to college. And so working with you allowed me to take it one step further. So not only just put together the scholarship fairs, but help prepare the students so that they're even ready for the scholarship fairs, much less for college, okay, which is a win-win situation for me.
right. And so I know preparing for the fair is definitely where this 6 week boot camp, which starts tonight. And again, it is free. It starts tonight at 6 o'clock, and we'll have essay writers out here that will actually help you with your college essays. But preparing for things such as this, I know there are hundreds of programs out there that help with ACT, SAT prep, that help with scholarships and essays. In your experience, Dr. Dorsey, what are generally the fees for something like this? Because a lot of the times, for what you said about students not being prepared to go to college, not being prepared to be prepared to go to college is kind of where you almost need to start. And so, cost is a factor in a lot of cases of children being able to have opportunities. So, in your experience, what has been those factors of cost and the impact of it?
Right. Well, Mika, one of the biggest things is that, as an educator, especially at a university level, I have my own consulting firm. And so people pay me, a lot of money as a consultant. And so we've worked with programs that doing the exact same thing that you're doing now, the exact same thing that I'm doing now, and pay me a nice penny. There are programs that I have worked with that have paid like $5,000 for a boot camp such as this that goes over a couple of years. They have paid like $3,500 just for this information. For the ACT SAT test prep has been like $1,500. And so for students of means and parents of means who can afford to pay that, then their students or whatever have a leg up over a traditional financially disadvantaged student in their family who doesn't. So as you said, my key word is free. I know that your mother used to say don't say four-letter words, but there's a four-letter word that I like, and free is that word. And again, it's my responsibility. I feel like it's my charge that the gift that I've been given to be able to write, to be able to teach at the university level, to be able to give back to the community. How can I give back? This is the way I can give back. The same thing that other people be paying $5,000 for, my ability to work with your program is actually able to offer it for free, four-letter word.
I absolutely love it. So, what do you feel like with working in this field for so long and seeing the students come into the college fairs? Because I actually heard an awesome story that there was a student that received over $1 million worth of scholarship offers at one of the fairs. So, what do you
Hmm.
feel like is the difference between that student that received over $1 million worth of scholarship offers and that student that may, not really receive any offers or need or want desires to get to that level? What are some of those steps and variables between those students?
Mika, one of the things is that, I'm a news junkie. So if you listen to the news lately, one of the things that that the Olympics have been on the news. Okay.
Yeah.
The Olympics happen every 4 years. Okay. The people that are in the Olympics, they didn't start practicing yesterday. They've been practicing and preparing for years in order to get to the Olympics. So if you're asking me the difference between a student who gets like $1 million in scholarship offers and a student who doesn't, is preparation. Okay, nobody runs the race without stretching and doing all the things to do get to prepared, all the exercises or whatever. Nobody runs the race without, making sure that we get started early, with the track. That's the preparation from a student. Nobody gets into the Olympics without having a coach. And this is what you're doing, a coach. Every single Olympic team that you've seen there, and I'm just using the Olympics as an example, there's a coach coaching everybody on that team. If you look at people who are successful in business, they have a coach.
Yeah.
If you look at a basketball team or a baseball team, there's a coach. Even if you look at people who like music or whatever, there's a music coach. There's somebody who's coaching them.
Yes.
Coaches get paid. So
Yes, for sure.
so what's the difference? Is the coach. And that's why my working with this program is so important. You're the coach. You're the coach that's going to prepare that student And I'm telling you, right, I've been doing this since 2008. You can tell a student that walks into a scholarship fair totally prepared and ready to go as a student who just wanders in off the street.
Mm, I love that. I love that. So I know College Coaching Network, we were founded because of the the struggle that our founder CEO Claude went through with coming into college and not having adequate funds to pay for school. Fortunately, he was able to get a basketball scholarship his second year. Otherwise, he may have been that statistic of that 1 year and done, right?
Mhm.
And so one of our passions is to be able to get as many scholarship opportunities out there to students that are available. Hence our partnership with Infinite Scholars and bringing the college scholarship fair to Kansas City now, because to Kansas City area through College Coaching Network. And so with that being said, what do you feel, what are some of the, because one of the things I've heard Claude says is that he didn't have anyone talk to him about the importance of the ACT, SAT test scores.
Mhm.
So I know we have had these talks. What is the difference that a small number in a score can mean to a student regarding dollars and scholarships?
Well, Mika, first of all, one of the things is that there's two parts to this story. Okay, one of the things is that a lot of students that are going to school, a lot of students that we service are first generation students. Okay, so
Mhm.
nobody in the household even knows what's going on. So let me tell you the story when I told before I tell you that we were at a scholarship fair in I think I was in Sanford. I was in Florida scholarship fair. A mother comes up to me and we were going to make extra copies. We can make extra copies of the ACT or SAT. And the mother comes up to me, and so she's like, "This is my son's SAT score, and could you make copies so he can give them out to a college?" Mika, his SAT score was like an 850, 900. You know,
Mm.
in my head, and I'm like, "Lady, do you know that a 1600 is the top score on an SAT? Do you know that 850, 900 is not college material?" Her son also had a 1.9 GPA. Do you know that at a 1.9, he is not even going to graduate? But he
Ugh.
played basketball, so she thought, so if you don't know, then you walk up here thinking like, I'm all good. I mean, okay, not to be like the label placement, but it's like your Louis Vuitton, but the L is backwards, and you thinking it's so you think that you walking out here with credentials, okay, and you're not. If you
Mhm.
look at some of the colleges, and they will tell you some of the colleges, and don't even let the hype fool you. Some of the colleges are saying, okay, you can be admitted without an ACT or SAT score. Yes, you can be admitted without one, but you're not going to get a scholarship without one.
Yeah, this is actually a conversation we had a bit ago about the ACT SAT test optional,
Yeah,
because I think the misconception that was portrayed and how it was pushed out, oh, you don't need it to get into school, but you can get in, but you still have to pay. And those scores are still what is the determining factor of
right.
getting the dollars.
And then Mika, one of the things that we'll do in our boot camp, when we there's a section that we're going to have on ACT and SAT, and I share with people there different colleges. I pull in information from different colleges. Mika, the difference between a 25 and a 26 on ACT, the difference between that for scholarships is $4,000. 1 point on your ACT is worth $4,000. And then if you get to 26 and 27 or whatever, the higher your points are, the more scholarships that you're eligible for. And the thing is that what's so beautiful is that, again, what they don't tell us or tell a lot of our students is that you can take this test as many times as you want to. And it's statistically speaking that every time you take the test, you increase your score by 2 points. That is a known statistic. I don't even make that up. You know,
That is
and so and a lot of parents would say, okay, well, they don't even know that, the school gives it out for free. Usually the school will pay for one, and some schools they'll pay for one test, and they were like, okay, well, that's the only opportunity, or maybe even two. The test is like $45. It's less than your cable bill. Parents, put together $45 and let them take the test as many times as they want to. Let them go through a free program like ours. We can do sample tests or whatever, and so that you can get there. This free program is going to allow you to have an additional $4,000 every time you take the test, and that is for free. And so, unlike Claude, I can't play basketball. Okay, I don't have, so I had to rely on what little smarts that I have, or that my children have. And again, first generation people going don't know. I knew that my daughters needed ACT, SAT prep. I knew that my daughters needed, push to go to school. But I also knew that I had to be involved. I knew that I had to be at that school on a regular basis. I knew I needed to be at parent teachers conferences. I knew I needed to know what the difference between ACT and SAT and what the top scores were. I knew that knew that, but a lot of parents don't. So I'm here not only for the students, but for the parents too, to be able to educate the parents on how to be able to help them send their children to college. Because children don't send themselves to college. Parents send children to college.
I think that's a great point with saying that parents send students to college. So another one of the things that we have learned working in this field, and of course, COD has been doing this for years and years and years, but a lot of the times parents rely on school counselors to be the know all be all to, educate their students on college and career paths and essays and scholarships and all these things, when realistically the recommended national average for school counselors should be two, I want to say it's 258 to 1. But
Hmm.
however, right now, we have talked to a school that had one school counselor was right out of college, and he
Hmm.
had 1,000 students to one of him. The average
Hmm.
public
Right.
school has about 350 to 450 to one school counselor. And a lot of the issues
Mhm.
that they're dealing with are social and emotional issues, mental health. So, having these conversations about school counselors, parents, you heard Dr. Dorsey say it. I will say it. It takes you getting involved, getting your students in programs that are going to educate them on college and career readiness. Because let's be realistic, we're at a time where you either need the education, the skills, or trade in order to be successful in life. So, one of the things that the boot camp will also do, because again, we're preparing for a college scholarship fair. Let's talk about dress for success, Dr. Dorsey, because there has not been a time that we have had a meeting that you have not been on point, put together. And sometimes people don't understand how much your appearance can make a difference with, do I want to cut you a check? Or do I just want to be like, yeah, you look great on paper, but there's this small part. So, can you talk about even the importance of the students being able to take advantage of the Dress for Success piece of the boot camp?
Well, and the thing about it is that we're going to talk about that. We're going to show a sample of one of the fairs that we have in Detroit, that we had. No, we had this one in Florida, and being able to talk about what the students look like. But Mika, you think about it, it's like a relationship. If you go up to somebody and you look jacked up, as the kids would say, it's like nobody's gonna have nothing to say to you. And so I'm going to a scholarship, and I'm asking you for $60,000. $60,000, which is somewhat like about the average, cost of a year of college. I'm asking you for $60,000, and I got on jeans and t-shirt, or I got, my belly out, and or we're not going to talk about the litany of things, whatever, that you see students coming in here looking like. One of the things that the colleges want more so than anything else is that they want to know that not only are you going to get in here, but you're going to be a good representation of what this university looks like. And if you can't walk in the door giving me an idea that you're a good representation, then why am I going to give you money to bring this ratchetness into our university and then go out here into the world and say that you graduated from XYZ, university? Nobody is going to do that. One of the things that, again, I didn't necessarily go to a HBCU, but you see the HBCUs and they got all the football games and all the basketball games, and everybody goes to the game and everybody's dressed up or whatever. And when you're alumni, you got the signs for the school that says that you're alumni, and everybody got all the Greek signs, and you say that because you're proud to be an alumni, and the school is proud to have you as an alumni. But if you out here doing ratchet stuff, the school doesn't want to have disavow any knowledge of you. So the
Mhm.
college reps already know this. So they were like, if we see you not looking the part or whatever, you could be the smartest person in the world. Because, Mika, and we also know, again, I'm an educator, you are too. There's a thin line between genius and insanity. So just because
Very
you
true.
don't mean you the crazy person that we want in our school. We
That
want
is very true. So, talking of that, as we get ready to wrap up, is also letters of recommendation. Something that I know about this generation, and I joke about this all the time, that communication is becoming a dying art.
Mhm.
um, is that students understanding the importance of networking in order to formulate those relationships to get them in the right place at the right time, because you talked about earlier on some of these programs costing 5, 10, 15,000 dollars to prepare these students for college admission. And so I'm sure when you're paying 5, 10, 15,000 dollars, you're rubbing elbows with, you know, those, that caliber of person. Um, but having students to understand the power of networking and getting a great letter of recommendation does not necessarily tie to your current financial status, but it's more of also putting yourself out there. So, can you talk about the power of a student networking and also what they want to look for when they're setting out to get letters of recommendation?
Mika, one of the biggest things is that, we want to think that you're going to go to college and that you're going to graduate in 4 years and that you're going to go into a particular career field. Okay. Even when you go into that particular career field, they ask for letters of reference. No matter how you could go to school, graduate with a 4.0, the job still needs a letter of reference in order to do that. Well, if you need a letter of reference to go into the particular career field, why wouldn't you think that you need a letter of reference to be able to get into college to do the same thing? And just because you look good on paper, just because you look good, I want to know who else thinks that you look good too. Who's your tribe? Who's around you? Who's going to vouch for you to be able to say, that you are. So it is important that you surround yourself with people who are going to help you be successful. Nobody is an island and nobody need to become successful. I didn't do it by myself, which is why I give back. You didn't do it. Claude didn't do it. None of us did it by ourselves. We actually all can look back and see that one person who was a mentor, that one person who was helpful to us, whatever. Well, let that person value you too. And so your letters of recommendation should come from, if you had a part-time job, let your employer do that. If you were in church, let somebody do that. One of the things that the colleges also want to know, not only are you smart and did you go to school, but what did you do to give back in the community? So if you do volunteer work, if you did internship, that's where you, and Mika, it doesn't take anything. You can do an internship one Saturday for a couple of hours, every other week. And that internship would indeed will give you a essence into the field that you're looking for, but that also gives you a reference letter. Somebody other than your mama and your dad can think that you're okay.
Yes. Something that you said, and I want students to understand this because sometimes, and I know as a young person, I didn't think this way. It's like you really underestimate how much your mind develops psychologically as you get older. But there is a entire world of people out there that want to pour back into students and really help them and cultivate them and mentor them. So, what you said about whether it was someone you work with at a church or your job, don't be afraid to talk to these people because they were once where you were. And so, with saying that, do you have any closing remarks or any tips or anything else you would like to throw out there to the audience, Dr. Dorsey?
One of the things is that I really want to be able to say is that students need to take advantage of this boot camp. Okay, not just because I'm part of it, because even there are other boot camps out there like this. To be able to take a look at that. But I'm a statistics person. I'm a numbers person. Because I'm an educator. Did you know that if you just fill out the FAFSA paperwork, just do that, and you don't, if you come from financial disadvantage, that the Pell Grant this year, I was doing the statistics for you last night, Mika, $6,495 a year is what you can get for free. What you can get for free without even
Which will
dealing with
cover
nobody.
most in-state tuitions each
Yes,
semester.
yes, six thousand
Mhm.
four hundred and ninety-five dollars. And Mika, did you know that again? I'm the news junkie or whatever. So they be talking about the budgets and whatever and how much money they don't have. $2.9 billion, billion with a B, money goes unclaimed every year. This is how much money the government puts aside so that they can help educate you, us, our students, or whatever. And we got money sitting
Waiting,
there that you
waiting.
don't even use, that goes unused every year because you won't fill out the paperwork. Because again, nobody tells you how. That's what we're here for. We show you how
Yeah.
to fill out the paperwork. We show you how to dot the I's and cross the T's, to be able to do that, and then and again, and most of us do this not for six-figure salary, because the one thing I do want to tell anybody is that you, me, Claude, anyone, nobody is going into this making a six-figure salary. There's a whole bunch of things that we could be doing to making money, and education is not one of them. But we do
Mhm.
it because we love it. We do it because it's our passion. We do it because it's our give back. We do it for all. Everybody's got their own reasons for doing it. So my
Yes.
going thing is like, if God gives you talents, if God gives you gifts, okay, it's your responsibility to give it back. Okay. If
Mhm.
we out here and we're trying to use our gifts and you don't take advantage of the gifts or whatever, then you have just dishonored everything that we put our time and effort into. So attend the boot camp. Be there
Yes.
because we're there.
Yes, I absolutely love it. Everyone, you have witnessed the amazing Dr. Laura Dorsey. She is such a bright light and she gives back to the community like none other. Like, this is truly a passion of hers, the education field, making sure that students have access to knowledge that the we'll call it the elite once only had.
Yeah.
So we again will invite you out to our free, again, free. Yes, I did say the four-letter word, free six 6 week college scholarship fair boot camp. It is weekly every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time from 6 to 7. We're going to be talking about your scholarship essay writing, which we have scholarship essay coaches, which will be out to help you edit, revise, help you craft your story. We're going to talk about transcripts, ACT, SAT, letter of recommendation, your college resume. We need to know how to fill out the college resume. And then, of course, we talked about it, dress for success. So, again, this is a 6 weeks course. You can head over to College Coaching Network on Facebook to register today because we really want to see you there. It is also available on Eventbrite. It's free registration. And then our actual college scholarship fair will be at the Hy-Vee Arena in Kansas City, Missouri on Tuesday, September the 21st. And that again is free to the public. We hope to see you there. And Dr. Dorsey, we look forward to going through this awesome boot camp and being able to pick your brain and share your knowledge and your heart with our students. Thank you
Absolutely.
for joining this morning.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you.